about the 2019 fall eBay seller update. This is everything that you need to know about this update, so you don't have to bother reading it yourself. And because this is live, I'm going to answer any questions that you guys might have in the live chat. So if you aren't here live, you're watching this on the replay, consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss the next live stream. You can also hit that little bell notification so you get notified every time that I go live. So you can, ask some questions with us here while we are live, or ask your question underneath the comment section of any of my videos. I take screenshots of them, put them up on the screen just like this, and I'll answer your question during the next live Q&A. So before we get into the Q&A, let's go into the seller update so we can see what it is that's been going on. And as you saw from the thumbnail, there's really not much to talk about here. I wasn't kind of kidding around with that thumbnail there, but seriously, I read through this entire update. It was emailed out to us today, and I didn't really see anything of interest in here. I will talk briefly about what they talked about, but really nothing new here. So eBay has been putting a lot more focus, a lot more attention on their marketplace that they want to kind of, by marketplace, I mean their managed payment system. So eBay wants us to start to incorporate their managed payment system, which kind of gets rid of PayPal, although PayPal is integrated with the managed payment system. So they've been pushing that pretty hard. They talk more about it here and some more incentives for doing it. Personally, I'm avoiding it for as long as I can. They talk more about new ways to run promoted listings, which just ends up making eBay more money. So of course, they're going to push more of that. They're changing some of the categories around, streamlining the categories, which isn't a huge deal. It seems to happen more in cars and trucks than any other category. And and then there's some things here about the marketplace sales tax here as well, which we already knew about. That wasn't really new news here. The only real kind of interesting thing here is that they did add some seller protections if you're a top rated seller. Basically, and again, we kind of already knew that they were going to do this. They just kind of clarified about it, which is that if you're a top rated seller and the buyer claims that the item is not as described, and when you get it back, it is as described, well, then you can get a refund for the return shipping costs. And if the item is not in the original condition that you shipped it out in, then you could deduct up to 50% of the cost of the item to cover that damage that was done to the item by the customers. So I've talked about before how this kind of frustrates me, because I think that's a protection that should be available to all sellers, not just if you're top rated, because that's a given. If a buyer's lying about the reason for the return, you shouldn't have to pay to ship the item back. Now, this doesn't really impact us as drop shippers because we generally don't pay to ship the item back anyway. That's done by our suppliers. So this isn't really something to worry about too much. But really, that's it. I mean, one of the most boring updates we've seen so far is just rehashing things we already knew, pushing more opportunities for you to spend more money on eBay, and eBay just, again, talking about their managed payment system, which most of us aren't really that interested in using anyway. And the reason a lot of us don't care so much about eBay's managed payment system is because we've heard such bad things about it from people who have joined it. So I just received this comment from Earthling15 ! Saying, "Do not sign up for the new managed payment system. It's a scam. After you sign up, they restrict your item visibility and try to make you buy a promoted listing to get sales back." So that's just terrible to see. We see eBay pushing more and more for us to use promoted listings. And it seems like maybe this is one of their kind of things that they're trying to do, is they lower you in the search results if you're using managed payments, and then kind of trick you into using promoted listings, so you give eBay more of your money, at least according to Earthling15 here. And I've heard other complaints about it, like you still can't use the global shipping program, and a lot of buyers just don't like using it because they like PayPal, And it's also confusing for buyers because while eBay is reaching out to us sellers about it, they're not really explaining it very well to the buyers at all. So buyers don't know what they're getting into when they see a managed payment listing as opposed to just a regular listing like with eBay. So let's see who's here in the chat. We have Corinne here. What's up, Corinne? We have Jackal, and Bobby says, I made it. Thanks, Bobby, for being here. And Irivas says, I finally made it from the beginning. What's up, Maria? Hey, Jamie from Panama City Beach, Florida, my neighbor. Tiffany finally made it here. We have Caroline's here. Lazy Abram Yo-Yo, what's up, man? Juan Rivera says, great title. I think you mean the thumbnail. Yeah. Hi from Australia. And hey, everyone. So if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. And this is going live right now at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I was doing these lives every Friday night around 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm considering switching them to a later time, like 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, because we'll get more people who can join us here live and more participation from you guys. I know a lot of you have been really trying to get on the lives, and just 5 o'clock on a Friday just doesn't work for a lot of people. So I'm hoping this time slot works better. TJ Florida gave me some feedback saying, any chance of moving them later when fewer people are at their day jobs? I'm commuting across Florida between 3:30 and 5 every Friday. So TJ, I do hope you can join us one for, Wednesday night at 8 p.m. It might be the time, or it might move them back to Tuesdays like I used to do way back in the day. But sometime 8 p.m. it seems like it's going to be the new time to do these. So we have Supermom from the Philippines. What's up? Nova Scotia in the house. Okay, so let's look at some of these questions I had saved up from the week. Jesse had a question. Hey, Paul, I have a question. I'm from Canada. I need to use a VPN to access some retail websites. So if I change my IP address to an American location while I'm on eBay, will eBay pick up on me switching from Canadian IP address to American? Do I need to change all my eBay account info to American and always keep my IP address to an American one? Thanks. So I'm not entirely sure what you're worried about here, but I have heard from some people that they're worried that if you use a VPN when you access your eBay account, that it throws up a red flag to eBay, or if you access your eBay account from multiple IP addresses, that raises a red flag of possible fraud, and eBay gets nervous about it. I've heard people fear this before, and I have heard a long time ago that that was an issue for eBay. But I know for myself, I access my eBay account whenever I travel. My VAs access it from around the world. They use VPAs when they access it. And it's never been a problem for me or for my friends. Or for my friends who use the VPNs or have VAs running their accounts as well. So that has never been an issue for us. So I don't anticipate it's going to be an issue for other people either. Let's see who's here. Okay. Let's hear the T, says Bob's Grant World. Nice, man. So, hey, Paul, I made $2,000 in sales in 2 weeks as a beginner. So, yeah, this is definitely still possible. People ask me that all the time. Is eBay dropshipping still possible? Is it still possible to get started with it? Here's the proof right here from Arkinski saying made $2,000 in sales in the first 2 weeks as a beginner. So that's really awesome. Congratulations on that. Cool. So let's answer another question I had. So this is from Claire. Claire is wondering about warranties on items. So how does that work with eBay buyers? Okay, so Claire, a lot of times when you're on your supplier's website like Walmart or Home Depot, you're going to see that they are going to have warranties for items. Maybe it's like a 90-day warranty, a 1-year warranty, something like that. The question is, should you put that in your eBay listing? Should you pass that warranty along to your customer? And the problem is that even though you're not the end consumer, even though your buyer on eBay is the end consumer, when you're buying it a lot of times from these other websites, it's not always clear to them who the end consumer is. Things get a little bit dicey in there. So my biggest recommendation is just delete the warranty information from the listing when you list it up, so that the buyers have no expectation that the item's going to come with a warranty at all. Because, sometimes they'll reach out to you in like 6 months and say, hey, this item is supposed to have a warranty and it broke. Can I get my money back from you? And they don't understand that they have to go to the manufacturer for that and that to register their item. It's just a lot easier if you just delete that from your listings. That's what we do. Okay, so great question here. Hey, Paul, why do items that are not sold by Amazon take longer? So when you're buying items on Amazon to source them, a lot of times the items will be prime, meaning that Amazon physically has the inventory. It's in their warehouses. Either that's because they own the item, or it was shipped into Amazon's FBA facility, which is their fulfillment by Amazon, which means that Amazon's holding on to the item, and once someone buys it, the person gets shipped the item directly by Amazon. So when that's the case, Amazon can quickly turn around those orders and get them shipped out really fast within a day or 2 days. And usually it's 2-day shipping on most of those items. So really fast shipping. But a lot of the other items are sold by third-party merchants. So that's what I do when I am drop shipping onto Amazon. And with that model, Amazon doesn't have the stock. So when you order from one of those people, the item is a lot of times, or it isn't coming from Amazon's headquarters, where Amazon has robots that make sure the items get out quickly. A lot of times it might be mom and pop stores where someone has to take it off the shelf, physically put it in the mail and ship it out to you, or rather your customer. So that doesn't have as fast of a turnaround. You got to look at what the handling and shipping times are for those specific items. So if you're worried about that and you're drop shipping from Amazon, always make sure that they are prime items. And it doesn't necessarily have to be sold by Amazon. As long as it's FBA, as long as it's prime, it should ship out really, really fast. Even if it is prime, sometimes it won't ship out fast, but it will tell you on the listing or on the Amazon listing that this item will take a little bit longer to get shipped out. Okay. All right, so let's see another question here. How am I supposed to send the item to the customer without paying? So, Tyra, I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. So let me just break down the way dropshipping works. So you list up an item for sale on eBay and you get that item from Walmart. You're not buying the item from Walmart right up front. You're just listing it for sale on eBay. Once someone buys it from eBay, then you buy it from Walmart, you pay for it, and you ship it directly to the customer that bought it from you on eBay. eBay or PayPal will then release the money to you, and you can use that money to pay yourself back. But you are buying the item, Tyra. It's not like you're not paying for it. You are paying for it. Lazy Abram says, any plans to do any advanced videos for the course in using Zeek Analytics? I don't have any plans right now to do that. I do, inside the course, Dropshipping Titans, show how to use Zeek Analytics to help with product research. But I really believe that the 3-step formula that I outline in the course that teaches you how to do the product research, that should be the core method that you use to help you find those profitable items that are already selling well on eBay. And Zeek Analytics just helps you through that process. It makes that process faster for you. Definitely not necessary, but it does definitely help. Now, as far as advanced videos, I don't think it's really necessary because the 3-step system is very simple. And I don't think there's any need to complicate it at all by adding more advanced steps in there that really aren't necessary. If you stick to those 3 steps, they do work. And if you use Zeek Analytics to help you with those 3 steps, that will help as well. Do you feel that you have to compete with prime items when drop shipping on Amazon? So there's really 2 ways to go about this, Robinson, when you're drop shipping on Amazon. And this kind of harks back to what I was talking about before with the prime versus non-prime items and prime versus items that when you're a third-party merchant, third-party seller for those items. So the question is, well, buyers come to Amazon and they see that you're selling the item and you're a third-party seller, and it might take them 4 or 5 days to get the item, or they can buy it prime and get it in 2 days. So why wouldn't they buy it prime? So there's a few ways to go about this. And I talk about all this inside my Amazon dropshipping course, but I'll give you like a brief rundown of it right now. So the first thing that you need to know is that even though someone's selling it prime, that person might go out of stock. So if once they go out of stock and people still want to buy it, they will buy it from you. The second thing you want to know is that even when prime is in stock, people still buy items from you. And I don't fully understand why that is. Like, why wouldn't they just buy the prime item? But they do. They do still buy it from third-party merchants, such as myself, and we ship it to them, even though they could have bought it prime. And the third thing is there are ways when you are doing your research to filter out any products that are prime and only look at ones that are being sold by third-party merchants so that it is easier to compete there without having to worry about prime products. So that's the brief rundown of it. Again, I do go through that more in depth in my Amazon course. And if you want like a free primer on Amazon dropshipping, I will have that linked in the description of this video. It's like a free mini course about Amazon dropshipping, so you can kind of understand what it is that we're talking about with that. Country Wolf has a question about the eBay global shipping program. Hey everyone, if I ship an item to Kentucky for eBay global shipping, do they know the address overseas or do I need to address it? So Country Wolf, when you get an order that was processed or done through the global shipping program, eBay doesn't give you the buyer's final address. There is a way to get it, but mostly when you look in, the address you're going to see is 1850 Airport Exchange Boulevard, Erlanger, Kentucky. And every time you have an item through the global shipping program, it has the same address, 1850 Airport Exchange Boulevard in Erlanger, Kentucky. The only thing that changes is a reference number. And it usually starts with an O, like an OR, and then there's a couple of letters that represent the country they live in, and there's a bunch of numbers that are unique to that buyer, or unique to that order rather, so that when eBay gets that order or gets that package, they see the reference number and they're able to see, oh yeah, this belongs to Paul's buyer who lives in China. I'm going to ship this then to that address in China. So that's what you need to put on it, that reference number. The other way that they know who to ship it to is with the tracking number. So when you get the tracking number for the item, so let's say you're buying it from Walmart, Walmart will give you a tracking number, and that item will then be delivered to Kentucky. So you take that tracking number, once you get it, upload it to eBay to that buyer's order, just like you do with any other order and any other tracking number. And now eBay sees that tracking number for that order. And so they know that once they scan that label when it arrives and it matches up with your order on eBay, they know exactly who it goes to, even if you don't have the reference number on there. But to make sure that you're covering all your bases, make sure that you upload the tracking number, and before that you put the reference number on the label. And when you're checking out on like Walmart, just put it as the second line of the address, the reference number, or you can do that on any other website as well. Okay. Yep, dropshipping on eBay still works. Like I showed before, that gentleman, made $2,000 in sales in 2 weeks. And I haven't done an income report in a while, but maybe I'll do one of those in the coming weeks. Okay. Okay. Hey, Eduardo, are you going to add a video stealth accounts to the Titans course? I do plan to do that. I think I have them mostly recorded, but I will be doing a series of updates to the eBay course throughout the late September, early October. I would plan more for October for those, and those should hopefully be included with that as well. Okay. Okay, so let's look at another question from this week. Yep, I still dropship on Amazon. Okay, so recently I talked about sales tax. There was some confusion about when you're supposed to collect sales tax, when you're not supposed to collect it. I'm not going to go all into that right now because I'm sick of talking about it a little bit. But I did get this good question from Shimmy saying, will I still need to use, they say TrackerBot here, they meant TaxJar after the changes on eBay. So TaxJar is a software that helps you keep track of how much sales tax you're supposed to collect and how much sales tax you actually collected. And it helps you stay compliant with all the different states and their rules. So when Bob just asked this question, do you think all these drop shippers are keeping track of their taxes? As far as sales tax goes, it's pretty easy to keep track of with TaxJar. The question is, now eBay is collecting sales tax for us. Now Amazon is collecting sales tax for us for many states. Let's say they start to do that for all the states that we have to worry about. Do we even need TaxJar at that point? And the answer for a lot of us is probably no. If you are only collecting sales tax now for one state or even no states, then you theoretically don't need to be using TaxJar at all. But I still think there's a while before we'll get to that point. I'm certainly going to continue to use it, so I make sure I don't get in trouble and I'm collecting and remitting sales tax when I'm supposed to. All right. When would I recommend upgrading to a premium store? I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. Inside my eBay course, I do break down exactly when you should upgrade to each of the different store subscriptions. It makes sense after a certain number of listings. That's when it starts to make sense. You could do the math yourself, but I do cover that inside my course. If you're a member, you should check that out. So Bobby says, if I change my price on eBay, will my repricer, in this case Bobby's using SKUGrid, will it do the repricing on that item? So Bobby, if you change a price on eBay of the item, SKUGrid doesn't know that you changed that price. And SKUGrid is still going to reprice the item based on the formulas that you set up in SKUGrid. So you have to actually change the price on SKUGrid or change the margins on SKUGrid so that SKUGrid knows next time it updates the items what to change the price to. All right. Let's see. So recently I made a video on Labor Day. There's a hurricane here, so I kind of didn't make a normal dropshipping video. I made a video of some of the strangest things that I found for sale on eBay, and I asked you guys if you had seen anything yourself that might have been pretty funny. And Spods was saying how he thought it was pretty funny after Popeyes stopped selling their chicken sandwich. People started to sell the chicken sandwiches on eBay. And I was like, what is he talking about at first? But I looked it up and it's true. There's all these people that were selling them people, look at this one. This one's $1,000. It has 27 bids. This one's $100, one bid. I mean, that's just crazy, guys. Wow. So that's definitely one that I missed. I didn't know about it myself. All right. And let's see this one. So Gautam, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, wants to know how much it costs to run ads when you're drop shipping on eBay. And someone else also asked me in the live chat, and I'm sorry that I missed it. Saw it for a second. You were asking about whether we should run Facebook ads for eBay. And this is one of the great things about dropshipping on eBay and Amazon is that they will actually bring the traffic to your listings. You don't have to worry about trying to get people to come to your items, come to your listings, because they're going to take care of it for you. They already have people on their platforms with their credit cards stored on eBay, on Amazon. They're ready to make purchases now. That's why people come to eBay and Amazon. They're ready to buy. So you don't have to worry about trying to get them to your website because they take care of that for you. The only thing you might want to do is do something like promoted listings on eBay. That does cost money, but only when you make a sale. So let's say you're running a 1% promoted listing campaign for all your items. Then let's say they search for the word chair, and at the top of the search results is a promoted listing for your listing, which is a chair. If they click on that and then buy it, in addition to the final value fee that you have to pay eBay like you would for any other order, eBay is also going to charge you another 1% fee on top of that, and that's because of the promoted listing. So that's the way it works. You don't have to do that, and I certainly didn't use promoted listings for a long time. It's something that I just started using within the past 12 months, and they definitely do work, but you don't have to use them at first. So the cost of advertising is $0 with this kind of drop shipping. So this is very different from something like Shopify, which when on Shopify, you have to make your own website and you have to drive traffic to that website. And the way you primarily do that is with Facebook ads, and Facebook ads cost money to run. So those ads for something like Shopify, the cost will exist. It will be maybe high, but with eBay and Amazon dropshipping, $0 unless you want to do something like promoted listings. They're the same thing. Promoted listings and sponsored. Promoted listings is what it's called on the seller side. We can go in and run promoted listings, but buyers, when they're on the search result page, it will say sponsored. It's the same thing. Okay, and I have this question. Okay, so this person was asking for some clarification about API software and what that means and what you're supposed to use, and just confused about it. It says, I used to use API software like DSM tool. What is manual drop shipping? So many questions. And I get that it's confusing. So let me try to clear this up for you if anyone's watching this. And I've made videos about this before, but I'll go through it again. So when eBay, then this software started to come out that automated that for us. So it would automatically list the item from Amazon to eBay, just copy and paste for you, but do it much faster. And it would also change the price on eBay and the stock on eBay if the stock or price changed on Amazon. And that software worked by connecting with eBay's API, which is basically a way for software to interact and work with eBay. It's totally allowed. eBay opened up their API for developers to create software that works with their website because they know that it makes a better experience for us as sellers. So there's a ton of software that does that. Now, that's the way that it used to work. It would always connect through the API. Then what we found, which was in 2018, was that eBay, they changed their terms of service where they don't want us using the API specifically for repricing items. So they don't like that we're using the API to reprice our items based on what the price is on Amazon or another website. So we no longer, we can use our software with the API, but we're finding that when we use that eBay flags us and they lower us in the search results because they don't want us using that. So when we create stores and never use any API software on it, then that doesn't happen to us. So the question is now, do you have to go back to the old way of doing everything fully manual? And the answer is no. That's just ludicrous. Anyone who says that is just wasting your time, because it takes so much time to copy everything from Amazon or Walmart and paste it onto eBay and then manually check everything. It's just tedious. It just doesn't make sense to do that when there is software out there that exists, software that will do everything I just mentioned for you, but without the API. So you can list items up for sale in a matter of seconds, and you can reprice the items without any work on your part, or very minimal work on your part. And you're not doing it manually. It's not like you're checking everything one by one. Now, this non-API version, a lot of people call this manual dropshipping. It's really not, because again, manual is what we used to do way back in the day when we would have to physically copy everything over and physically check the price on eBay and check the price on Walmart to make sure that, the price didn't change. That's manual. But this non-API software, the way that we do this, a lot of people call it manual, even though it's really not. If you want a better name for it, it's just eBay dropshipping without API software. And using that method, we've seen great results, and we've seen that eBay hasn't flagged our account and hasn't lowered us in the search results because of it. So that's why I stopped using software that uses the API. That's been my experiments that I've run. I've noticed that that's what happened. So I stopped using the API software, and I'm only using software that doesn't use the API. Now, previously there was only one software like that was SKUGrid, so I've been using that. But there are more coming out, and you better believe that I'm going to be trying all of them, finding which one I like the best, and then I'll be talking about that here on this channel. So yeah, I know it's kind of confusing when you switch softwares and you see me, I'm using one at one point and then using another one, and I might even be using another one very soon. But it's really just because I want the best software that's available, not only for myself, but for you guys as well. And I'm not going to pretend like I've never changed software just so that I make it less confusing for you guys. I want you guys to know exactly what I'm doing and why. Changing software from one to another, it's a pain, right? I don't like doing it. I've done it maybe 2 times before. Let's see, 2 times before. It's not fun to do, and I don't like doing it because it takes time and things always get a little bit messed up. But if you find a software that's better than the one you're using and has a good track history, then it is worth doing it, even if it is, annoying to do it, or even if it, in some ways will confuse some of you guys. I just always want to be truthful about what I'm doing, and I hope that comes across to you guys. So I think that answered your full question. I'm not using API software, just using software that doesn't use API. And if you guys you don't want to miss out on any of those reviews as I do them, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be releasing those hopefully within the next month or so, because more and more of them are coming out. Okay. How do I handle Home Depot 2 shipping address limit? Yeah, so with Home Depot, you can only ship to 2 addresses per order. So that's what we do. We sell higher price items, so it doesn't really make a difference anyway to us. Oops. Manual dropshipping is impossible, even with 100 VAs. Fully manual dropshipping, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it's totally impossible, but it's definitely, it's definitely hard to do it fully manual. And I don't think it's necessary at all, especially when you have the non-API software out there. Oh, hey, Paul, some eBay dropshippers have flags in their product thumbnails. How do they do that? So those are technically, they're called watermarks is a name. And it's technically not allowed on eBay. eBay wants an image, no borders on it, no watermarks, no little logo in the corner. But a lot of people do them. It seems like one of those rules eBay doesn't enforce. Personally, I don't do it because it is against the rules, but it's certainly something you can do. Not a lot of them, some of the listing softwares, you can set it up so that it automatically adds a watermark to your items. I've never done it because I don't use them. That would be the fastest way to do it for all your listings. So look at whatever listing tool you're using and see if it comes with that feature. Otherwise, you would have to download every item or the image for every item, manually do the watermark, and then upload it. Again, manual stuff like that just takes too much time. I don't think it's worth it. If you're not using API, eBay shouldn't be flagging your account. How do you know that you've been flagged? Check your promoted listings. If you run a promoted listing campaign, even if it's like 1%, you'll see that it's like up here. But if you get flagged, it'll just drop and be 0. That's the easiest way to tell. All right. And also the other thing about fully manual is that fully manual also means that you're manually uploading all your tracking numbers yourself too. And a lot of people that say they're fully manual are using services like TrackerBot, so they're not fully manual. All right, so I think I've managed to answer everyone's questions here. So if you guys got any value out of this video, do make sure to give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss any more of these live streams. I think for now I'm going to do them on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. So guys, you don't want to miss those. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. You can ask me anything you want in the live chat. And if you guys want your question answered during the next live stream, either join us live or ask it in the comments section of any of my videos, and I will give you a shout out just like I did here for Claire. And guys, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who is here live. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next week on Wednesday or when I release my next video. Bye for now.